Welcome to Tech Bytes and News, your daily roundup of articles featured in Hacker News. Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating project. Dynamic quantization of the DeepSeek-R1 1671B parameter language model. It's a breakthrough in making large language models more accessible.
Absolutely, I'm buzzing about this. This 80% size reduction from 720 gigabytes to 131 gigabytes is incredible. How did they achieve such a dramatic decrease?
They cleverly used a technique called dynamic quantization. Instead of uniformly quantizing all layers to the same low-bit precision, they strategically assigned different bit depths to different layers based on their importance. For example, MOE layers, crucial for scaling, were kept at 1.5 bits, while others were at higher bit depths like 4 bits. Ingenious.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach? That makes perfect sense. Naively quantizing everything would break the model, right?
Exactly. They found that a naive approach led to infinite loops and nonsensical outputs. Their dynamic method avoids that. They even provide quantized versions ranging from 131 gigabytes to 212 gigabytes on Hugging Face. Amazing resource.
And the performance? What kind of speed are we talking about?
They're getting around 140 tokens per second with the 1.58-bit version on a 2xh 180 gigabyte setup. Impressive. Even without a GPU, it runs, though slower, using just 20 gigabytes of RAM. They recommend at least 80 gigabytes total VRAM plus RAM for optimal performance.
That's a huge range of hardware compatibility. They used a rather unusual benchmark, though. Flappy Bird?
Yeah, I know, right? But it's a clever way to test the model's creative coding abilities. They scoured the generated code across 10 criteria, like color choices and game functionality. The 1.58-bit version scored remarkably well, considering the size reduction.
Interesting. So what were the key architectural insights that allowed this level of quantization?
They exploited the DeepSeek-R1 architecture. They identified that the first 3 dense layers and certain MOE components were less sensitive to quantization, allowing them to use higher bit depths. The down_proj matrices, however, were identified as crucial and were left at higher precision. They leveraged several papers and techniques, including their own dynamic quantization method and llama.cpp's GGUF quantization. A truly collaborative effort.
It sounds like a lot of careful experimentation and analysis went into this. Did they encounter any challenges?
Yes. One challenge was dealing with occasional incorrect tokens generated by the 1.58-bit quantization. They suggest using a minimum probability threshold to mitigate this issue. Also, they had to address inconsistencies in token mappings across different model versions and frameworks. A lot of attention to detail was required.
Makes sense. So how can listeners run this quantized model?
They provide detailed instructions for running the model using llama.cpp, OLLAMA, or VLLM. They even offer a script to merge the split GGUF files for easier use with OLLAMA and VLLM. It's all very well documented.
This is truly impressive work. Making advanced LLMs accessible to a wider audience is a huge step forward. Thanks for breaking it down for us.
My pleasure. And a big thank you to Daniel and Michael Hahn for their amazing work. Remember to check out the links in the show notes for more details. Until next time, goodbye from Tech Bytes and News.
Bye-bye.